Well, hello there. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another StarSpace chat. This is, as you know, or maybe you don't, our semi-weekly sit-down where I get you all the info for those entrepreneurial movers and shakers here in the state of Oklahoma. This series is always meant to highlight some amazing people in the OKC, especially entrepreneurial community, but also surrounding areas, and we'll never forget Tulsa. So just a place that everyone here in Oklahoma can call home, and people that are helping make it that much better. I'm your host, Jeff Yenzer, board secretary here at StarSpace46. We're a local co-working space positioned right at the corner of Sheridan and Klein Avenues here in downtown Oklahoma City. And we've been in operation since 2016. If you could, go ahead, please slam that like button, share with those people that you may love or even the ones that you may hate. Who knows? Drop a comment, maybe even ring a little bell here on YouTube just so you know when these things drop and you're one of the first to hit those new episodes whenever they come around. So you get to see this face. Don't know why, but hey, to each their own. It really helps us get that word out, and it really helps everyone that's coming out of this pandemic looking for hybrid workspaces to know that there are solutions here in Oklahoma City. Without further ado, I would love to introduce both of my guests. There's two this time around, and they're going to tell us some amazing information about solar energy and how it can really change Oklahoma with renewable energy in mind. So bring them on in, Rodney. Mike, Dustin, how we doing?
Doing great, Jeff. How are you?
Doing well. Well, I always start off, and usually it's just one person, but now the two of you have to paper, rock, scissors to who gets to go first. But we always start with, where have you come from? Like, what brings you professionally to today?
I've been an entrepreneur since college. I started a finance company in college, and it failed horribly, but I learned a lot of lessons from it. And then from there, I was in real estate and eventually in oil and gas. Mm-hmm. And with the ups and downs of oil and gas, I for a while was really looking for something else.
Right.
And was on a trip to California. I just had kind of an epiphany. My background's economics, when I was like, okay, things have changed for solar. Solar is now economical, where 10 years ago it was not, in my opinion anyways. And started putting two and two together and talked to Mike, and we ended up starting Solar Creations almost a year and a half ago. And we've been just hitting the road ever since.
Awesome. How about you? How'd you get here, Mike?
Yeah, I took a little bit different path to entrepreneurship. You know, I started out as a mechanical engineer working for several large companies. I worked in aerospace for about 5 years, and then worked in oil and gas as well. And had always had an interest in doing something on my own, and had tried various things kind of on the side when I was, working for the man. But, eventually I'd always been interested in efficiency and building and that kind of thing. I'd worked for Johnson Controls in college, and what we did there was a lot of retrofitting HVAC equipment to give commercial clients higher efficiency systems. And so that kind of sparked my interest in building science and efficiency and that kind of thing. In a house that I owned, 12 years ago, I think, ended up doing a geothermal system at that point, and had always kind of had my eye on solar. And then when Dustin and I were talking things over, we kind of realized we had that common interest, and it was just a good fit for us to put something together. So that's how I ended up here. And, I tried real estate, some other things, and I guess that'd be kind of a piece of advice I'd have for new entrepreneurs, is that if you're, there's a lot of ways to go out and make money, but, to have staying power and to, be something that is going to be fulfilling, I think it's got to be something that you're also really interested in. Because I've tried some other things that were just money makers, but I didn't really have a passion for, and that's not a good fit for the long haul. So, I'm excited to be here, and this industry's going through a lot of change all the time. So there's always new things to research, and it's really interesting stuff. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
That's awesome. And I think you make a good point that for so many entrepreneurs, there has to, if you're not going to be passionate about it, because I'm in HR. If you're passionate about your HR, there's something, I don't know what's going on with you, but it is something that you have an aptitude for, and you have the skill set that matches it. And that's the thing that keeps you learning, because much like your industry, mine changes based on the day. based on the week, and based on like the city. So I'm having to keep up with all these things like a lawyer, but I don't get to have that, $500 an hour bill rate. So there has to be something at the end of the day that keeps you moving forward. And if if you're going into something that you just have zero interest in, and I see a lot of real estate agents doing this, just kind of out of their, it's just something to do, but they don't have that passion to be able to exude it and talk about it. And then they wonder why maybe they aren't as successful as some of their peers that are in there, and they love how, interior design looks, or they know how to convey that passion about just a structure and how it's built. And they're just sitting there wondering how these people are just making sales. And it comes back to that interest and that passion. So you make a great point. And I think what you all are doing, I had a stint in oil and gas myself. And to be able to really change the game, I think is it's exciting and it's different. It's new. So I want to know, even though your company is still relatively new, tell me about it, guys.
Well, we started off basically word of mouth. Mike and I have quite a few connections in the Oklahoma City area. Mike was born and raised in Oklahoma City. I was born in Seminole and went to school down in Norman, and then ended up in Edmond. And it kind of pushed us into the commercial realm. We just recently did as far as we know, the largest commercial rooftop array in Oklahoma, and it spells out the letters OKC on the Floor Trader building down by like Mathis Brothers and everything.
Right over by us.
Yeah. And you can see it if you're flying into Will Rogers from the north side. You can kind of look down and see the letters OKC. They're 200-foot wide.
Yeah.
That's
so cool.
That was that was a cool project. But commercial is just kind of falling in our laps, and we love it. And we've been recently, about 4 or 5 months ago, made the push into residential as well. Mm-hmm. So that kind of bringing what we've learned from commercial into residential and making doing a little better job, we think, than a lot of our competition out there.
Yeah. How about you, Mike? Are you seeing the same sort of trends? And I mean, you've got to be proud of that as well, having a staple that now everybody can see.
That was a really cool project to be involved with, for sure. The client had the idea, hey, I look at my building every time I fly out of here. Could we do something interesting? So we kind of put pen to paper and figured it out. And, it looked great on paper. It was really hard to do when it came time to actually install it. But, we have a great team, and we put it together with, without any hitches, and it looks great now. So we're definitely proud of it. And it's fun to see it up there. And I think, kind of a lot of what we feel like we need to do here in Oklahoma right now is just education. I think a lot of people have the old school mindset that it's either not affordable or it's not reliable or anything like that. And it's, there's been so much investment in this space in the last decade that it's not like it used to be. So, especially on the commercial side, there's some additional incentives and whatnot that people can take advantage of that brings the payback period for these systems way down. I mean, 6 years is common on some of these systems. So I think that's pretty far outside of what most people have in their minds as far as what it takes to pay these systems off. So, I mean, it's really a moneymaker right off the bat. And when you look at other CapEx projects that corporations take in all the time, I mean, that's a favorable payback period for sure. So, we're trying to get the word out and just, keep things rolling.
Well, you've done it once. Would you go back now with what you've learned and what you've done and do those sorts of, I'll call them artistic pieces. That's kind of what they are. There were a few discussions. We were like, man, I hope we don't become the guys that are known for doing these letters because, but we would do it again for sure. It's cool. Once you have a little time to step away from it and admire it a little bit, it's definitely something to be proud of. So
once that dust settles just a bit. I feel you there.
Right. Well, what really just day to day, because I think that so many people, like you said, they just don't know. It's just a lack of knowledge and a lack of education. It's not all willful ignorance. A lot of it is just societal norms and people just thinking, well, I don't have to look, electricity just happens. So I don't have to really pay attention to where it came from. So how are you all kind of combating that, especially in a residential side of things where we've had countless issues with private, the energy conglomerates that we have today, nowhere near as bad as Texas. But at the same time, when you're a residential person, especially when you're working from home because of COVID, things of that nature, all of this reliability is key. So how are you all kind of changing your narrative to be able to align with exactly what those people's concerns are?
Sure. I definitely think everything that's happened with the weather in the last year has opened everyone's eyes a little bit to, hey, maybe we should look into an alternative.
Right.
And solar is the perfect solution for that. The battery backup systems are definitely needed to accomplish that. And the cost for the lithium ion battery backups is continually going down. It's an economies of scale type thing.
Sure.
And it's a really good solution that you can also use to shave your electricity use at night with the battery backups.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that a lot of people don't realize, Oklahoma is the 6th best state for solar production. All the other states that are anywhere near us have a lot more solar out there. We're behind the ball here, and we're ready to start catching up. And I think people, as they're getting educated, are starting to realize, hey, this is a really good solution. And then also battery backups is a great solution. So you don't have to have those times off or a week or two without electricity or, no AC or heat or a refrigerator. They're getting to be really scalable and very usable. So it's becoming a really good solution.
That's awesome. Are you seeing the same things, Mike?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's that technology just continues to improve, and the software side of things. I think you all represent a lot of people that are kind of in that space, and the interfaces, the applications that people use to interact with these systems just keep getting better, and it's now totally seamless for the homeowner. And it's very powerful too. There's all kinds of settings they can adjust on the fly, and it's no longer confusing. There's not a lot of DIY type issues that people have with trying to deal with their battery system. So it's a great place to be, and it's those systems just get more and more powerful and less expensive by the day, really.
Yeah. For an average home, how big is the solar panel that you all are kind of thinking about utilizing for that sort of thing? Just that's a question that I know that I would have, and maybe others would as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 5 foot by a little over 3 foot.
Oh.
And everything's in metric, so it's centimeters,
Sure.
so it's not exact. The commercial ones, about 7 by 4-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But and they make a couple different sizes. Depending on the manufacturer, it's tweaked a little bit, and then you just kind of lay it all out. So, but that's about the size on average. So,
and there are different wattages available too. So if somebody has a constraint with space, we can use panels that have a higher output for the given size and kind of make up for things that way. And so there's all kinds of ways to tweak it based on the specifics at the site.
Yeah. My entire industry is taking away people's excuses for this or that. So that's why I automatically kind of go into that mentality, especially for residential. Many commercial buildings, they have a nice big rooftop that they can play along with and, throw a few up there just for safekeeping. But I think that there's so many people that have questions about residential and they just don't know who to ask, or they don't know who to trust to ask. Because if you're asking, frankly, if you're asking OG&E, it's like, well, are you wanting to use this solar energy because it helps you or it helps me, or does it help both of us? Mm-hmm. Whereas having this sort of forum to ask those questions is nice, and maybe people can understand things a little bit better, especially not only their business, but their home, which might, in our world, be their business as well.
Right. Yeah, there's some cool things we see in other parts of the country too that haven't really taken off here yet that I think definitely will. But things like carports and pergolas, you can do. There's a type of panel called a bifacial panel, and it basically looks like tinted glass. And so you can make a pergola out of those that looks really cool and modern. And so there's other options too. If the roof isn't perfect for it, you can do other things. So
sure.
It's that's pretty cool stuff too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you just said the magic word. Pergolas go up here left and right. I've got one in my house, and
Yeah.
be able to think about something like that. Honestly, when I was thinking about solar panels, I was like, well, top of a pergola seems to be kind of, it gets out, it's away from everything, and why wouldn't it work?
Right. Well, and with the current cost of cedar, and you don't get a tax credit for your normal pergola, so there's some other things to think about there too.
I'll put you into contact with one of my clients who has a pergola company, and maybe
Hey, there you go.
Things together.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about cedar as much.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. So, I always like to ask, looking toward the future, what can StarSpace46 in our community do to help you? Because what you're doing is something that's near and dear to my heart. I'm renewable, reuse, recycle, all that sort of thing. So this is something that I would love to be able to help with.
I think go ahead, Dustin. Sorry.
Paper, rock, scissors. Do it now.
I think definitely, like for us, as we're doing, especially like safety training for our guys, we need a bigger space.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have rooms that we could go to and do presentations and continuing education, as well as sales guys that maybe they've been working from home and they want to get out. The kids are at home or something.
Yep.
I think you guys have an awesome idea, and it's really going to just keep taking off, because especially companies are closing down offices and everyone's working from home, but they're kind of getting tired of it. You guys are the solution. So
it's true. Hey, look at us all. We're just trying to change business for the next, 50 years instead of looking at the last 50 as the gold standard and everything that should never be altered. So
right.
No, that's awesome. And you're always welcome, of course, here, and our community are definitely going to be reaching out and probably talking to you about some different solutions. So hopefully this is mutually beneficial. And I'm one of those, the tide rises all boats if you just make sure that your hull's taken care of. So
right. Yeah, we always like networking with people, even in totally seemingly unrelated industries. I mean, you never know where that stuff leads. So we love talking to people who are excited about what they're doing. So, we're always open to, whatever appropriate meeting is available in the COVID area. But I'm in quarantine right now, actually. So it's, fun stuff. Everybody, luckily, nothing serious for us, thankfully. But, it's a strange time we're living through, but we'll all get through it together.
It's true. Numbers will start going down. Vaccine numbers will start going up. Pfizer just got FDA approved. So hopefully in the next, 18 months, we can start putting some of this in the back mirror, but also kind of taking away all of the things that can help us grow in the right and proper channels from all of this, because this was a huge learning experience or a validation for a lot of people of what they've either been doing right or especially what they've been doing wrong.
Right.
So there's a lot of takeaways, and I hope that everybody kind of gets to get some success that they might not would have had there not been a global pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, once everything's all taken care of and you're on the other side of your quarantine, come on down to the space. Like you said, we've got more than enough ample room for trainings and things like that, and our event space can be opened up for cross breeze and all those sorts of wonderful things, just in case. We've got a patio area if you want to do it outside, but we've had a zero transmission rate here at StarSpace, and that's something we're very proud of.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we took it very seriously from day one, and we continue to do so.
Excellent.
Good job.
Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure. I may have to reach out to you, for my house, because it's been something that I've kept thinking, if I just had one solution to be able to call and talk about residential solar, then I would do it. And now I don't have excuses. So
there you go. We love talking about it. Call us anytime.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, Mike, Dustin, it's been an absolute pleasure. You all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you down the road, and hopefully that road's not too far away. So
sounds great. Take care. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank Mike, thank Dustin, but thank you for joining us during this StarSpace chat. Again, share this with your friends. Join our community down here at StarSpace like we were talking about. Become a full-time member with 24-hour access to our facility. get a key fob. It's kind of like a gym membership. You can come in, you can work in the middle of the night if you want to. There's coffee, there's water, there's all kinds of things that you can enjoy here. You visit StarSpace46.com, just like the little blurb said, and you can schedule a tour. You can book a meeting space. You can come by, see if there's that perfect office that either if you can grow that business out of and be able to have a locked door to protect your valuables like me, or you can work in our open co-working area, which there's plenty of room, 2 floors to be able to spread out. So there's really a solution for everybody to eliminate, again, those excuses. We have free co-working Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, every week of every month, come down from 9 to 5. That's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And feel free to co-work here for free. You can check out the facility and you can try out the blazing fast Dobson internet and see if this sort of space would work for you. You can always find it at our custom merch at merch46.com. And as always, thanks to Rodney. He is with Camelty Content Strategies. He is my guy in the van that produces all of these episodes. I've been your host, Jeff Yenzer, as most people call me, from Yenzer Consulting Services, as well as StarSpace46. And, we'll see you next time. And hopefully you'll be safe wherever life takes you. I'll see you down the road. Take care.